What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another watch list video. Happy Wednesday. Welcome back. Tons of nice moves today, right? We're seeing some awesome fall through in names that held up exceptionally well during our recent correction, right? The action under the hood was impressive today. Many stocks gapping higher, some holding the highs, and some fading off the gap, like your memories, semis, things like that. Some stuff that's been weak, kind of stayed a little bit of weak from the gap up. QQQ remains in a range, still looks pretty constructive. I will say though, if we get a day or two like of a pause or a day or two continuation of a chop, I think there can be a lot of attractive charts, especially if there's a lot of weekly charts developing, right? There's some good ones out there, which I'll go over. SMH, right? You had a nice little gap and crap practically into the 50-day. I want to see us push through this pivot, aka the 50-day. That would be definitely an improvement. But I will say it's nice to see the gap up, and we're above the 10 and 20. We just need to get through the 50. That's really all I can say about this SMH. But the semis continue to be a weak group, especially names like right AMD, like still rolling over, Marvell, still acting poor, and there's a few others, but there are some holding up pretty well. Like Nvidia looks awesome; it's on the list. Just continuing to go sideways here, it looks pretty good. And AVGO, kind of same thing, inside day to day, but just continue building out sideways, give some more clarity. Either way, it's above the 50. It had a nice gap up, and it's been holding up really well, and it's been acting nice. It's been acting fine, right? The market's going sideways. This thing, the market had a fall through day. It's been going sideways. This thing gapped up and it's been going sideways. It looks awesome, right? It's doing what it should do, right? A day or two of rest would be healthy, though, I think, for the QQQ. Give some more clarity here, potentially form a higher low before making that move higher. But I also don't want to be out here chasing like these premature setups, which, you can see in a lot of the software names. Most of them just need additional time to consolidate or just a little bit of a day up, a little bit of a pull for a day or two. Would definitely give some more clarity. But some standout names today. One of my biggest positions today, Dell, awesome move, right? You get the breakout, looks so good. One of my biggest positions and just looks really good. And the HP on the back of that, well out of its base, acting awesome. This just goes to show who cares how many people on X are talking about a stock or uh, you know like I don't know. To me, that just means absolutely nothing. Like how many eyes are on a stock, I don't care. As long as the action is right, that is more important than the crowd, right? So like if you just constantly thought the whole time like, oh, everybody's paying attention to stock, then you probably missed it, or you probably were just too emotional to trade. But either way, it's set up in an awesome way. If you bought a breakout on this on the first breakout day, which is Tuesday, you might have gotten stopped out, but you need to be able to re-enter back into a stock like this, and that just brings me back to like SoFi in 2025. I remember this base shook me out pretty hard, like on this day, right, where you had the breakout, and all it needed to do was squat for another day or two, and it set back up. So but I made the mistake of buying the breakout and getting stopped out, which was fine. I took a small loss, but I never re-entered back into it, which ruined everything. And the stock didn't ruin everything, but I missed the whole move because I let that mental block deter me away from the stock. So you could have that could definitely be seen as well on like an HP. But other than that, I mean, HP looks awesome. Made a great move today, right? It's in that same group as Dell. NVIS, like what a day today. I talked about this yesterday. It gave a perfect entry spot on an earnings gap up, right through the pivot, right through the 50-day, even if you wanted to get it that a little bit lower. But either way, there's two spots right there off the earnings gap up. If the risk is tight enough, then it's worth taking these things. And it just broke out of a nice little base it's made. So pretty nice look. I threw it on the list. Give us a setup now for a nice flag or something like that. It would be super interesting on a name like this. Otherwise, really nice move today. AEHR, beautiful into new highs, acting awesome, right? It gave you the wick play setup, followed through, and now we're back into new highs. So this name is very choppy though, or at least it has been, right? It was nice off April 2026 lows, but I mean, it was pretty much straight up. So it can be a very choppy name for trade, or it'll set up one time and then it will, it'll go. But then, it's set up so many times in here, whatever. So it's a very choppy name nonetheless, but it is acting awesome. ANET, a new all-time closing high, another name acting awesome, right? NTAP, another one, right? There's names out here that are acting so awesome and are doing super, super well. So definitely some standout names in there for sure, and names just like not even caring about what's going on in the market. Earnings in the after hours, or earnings today, right? LITE, super. I mean, this was a nice day to day to me, right? That super nasty kill bar was super ugly, but I did like this day to day. Now we'll see if it can form a setup. I don't know how I'd look at a name like this. It's another one that's been super choppy in the last 6 months. So You know, maybe just let it go sideways for a week or two. Same thing with NBIS. And there could be a setup there. Cisco was another one. I think actually this report in the after hours it's down, but doesn't look too bad. But right, your photo ETF, right? Just building like a bottoming base, almost looks like NBIS before it broke out, kind of same thing. And then AAOI doesn't look too bad in that group. You know, it's back above the 50. It's trying to build sideways. I think it's got an inside week. Yeah, it doesn't look horrible. Continue building out would give some more clarity here, but I don't mind the little flag it's building. And then AXTI is another one where it's like you're back above the 50 and you're trying to build sideways. Let it go. Let it build. No setup for me on a name like this, but it does have a nice like stall bar on low volume week. Looks pretty good. Let it just continue solid. It could go on the list in the next few days. Yeah, NBIS I talked about. Nice gap up on earnings today. That was a good one today. CoreWeave is another one that gapped out, right? And then you look at the new NeoCloud ETF with a really big 17% day. It's super interesting there. CoreWeave, I don't see anything in it tomorrow. And I didn't see anything in it today. Of course, I'm not gambling on earnings, but it's interesting. It's back on my list because it's back above the 200 and the 50 day. Nice gap up. We'll see if it can offer a setup here in the next few weeks. Would be super interesting. SCCI is another one that gets back above this 200 day. On an earnings gap up, interesting to say the least. Just something I'm going to keep on an ILCBRS in the after hours with a failed breakout, or is this a squat? I don't know. It's not a name I own. I don't want to dabble in this name. It's in a horrible group, right? It's considered a semiconductor, so it's not a name that I am personally trading. But it did get hit pretty hard there in the after hours, which to me it almost looks like it looks pretty much like a failed breakout. But who knows? You know, if you got it from maybe 210 area, you still got like $7 a risk if you have it any lower. Than, I mean, I understand maybe sitting in it, but you know, it could just be a squat for the next day or two. But either way, it's not a name I own, so I don't really care too much about it. Yeah, Cisco's down the after hours. COHR is flat in the after hours on earnings. And that's pretty much it in the after hours. Going over breadth real quick. I always go over this every single day, right? Another good day of breadth, right? 192 stocks up, 102 down. I like to see it, right? Even though the market's red. Same thing with your market monitor from StockB. Same stuff, but just, you know, awesome breadth. I mean, you could just see the breadth over the last week or two, or last week in general has just been absolutely awesome. So it's nice to see it continue holding up and continue to do well while the market's going sideways. Love to see that, right? Going over your futures, crude oil, not that one, crude oil. You know, is this a lower high? It's very possible, but either way, the group is still acting fine. VG, I did see, had earnings yesterday, and then an inside day today. Interesting. I'll keep an eye on it over today's highs, but I don't think I'm going to be buying this. But either way, it looks like it's trying to build higher lows. It's one of the faster moving oil names, super liquid. So super interesting to say at least. MPC is another one with awesome move today. You know, just continue higher. I wouldn't be buying these ones up here for sure. Velo, same thing. But the group's still acting fine. Right, your Kospi is gapping up in the after hours through that little sideways it built. And then I think SK Hynix did actually close pretty nice today, back above the 20-day, and had overall just a nice gain today from the gap up compared to like a Micron, which Micron still doesn't look too bad to me, right? It's just at the pivot, it did reject, so obviously wasn't one about it, but you're seeing a nice little ramp here in the 24-hour session. Yeah, going over gold here. Oh my goodness. Going over gold right at the 200-day, possibly a short spot. To me, it looks like it could very possibly be a short spot. Your NQ and your ES just look like innocent flags, right? They look fine. You know, just building sideways at all-time highs, and then NQ, right? It's still in the, you know, in the base almost, but in the middle of this little range. So inside day tomorrow would be pretty nice. And I think a lot of charts would definitely set up. But without further ado, I'm going to go through my list here. AEVA, yes, considered a semiconductor, but it's in that LiDAR group. Earnings gap up. It's been tight. Talked about this name yesterday. Double inside day above today's highs would be an interesting spot for a higher low. Weekly chart's got an inside week. It's above its 50. It's 200. It really looks good. And your OUST is also that semiconductor LiDAR name, building a flag, right? These names are both building flags off their big moves off the lows. So it's super interesting. Inside week on both of them. Names I definitely want to keep an eye on. I think for AEVA, above today's highs would be a spot. And for LUST, same thing. Above today's highs would be an interesting spot, or an inside day tomorrow would be awesome too. Maybe we get a little bit of a washout. And you did have a pretty big washout today towards the 50-day, which became a pretty nice spot right at that prior day's low, right? You undercut and rally that prior day low. But either way, that, you know, if you really wanted to own it, that was a good spot. But an inside day tomorrow would make this a higher low, which would be interesting. But other than that, through the prior day high, like I said, is what I'd be paying attention to. Nice little flag it's building out here. Pretty interesting to me. Amazon, it's gotten beat up. And I'll go through the semis real quick because I wanted to do that, right? SMH right at the 50 needs to get through that 50-day. Intel, is it trying to build sideways here and possibly break higher? Inside week, I don't mind it. You had your bullish engulfing and then inside week. The weekly chart looks good for a bounce, but the daily, it just needs to do a little bit more for me. I just don't see too much, right? You had a gap and you stayed red. ARM is another one. It's just not acting the best. Like they look like they could be trying to build out bottoms, but and another one where it's like you're bullish engulfing inside week. But not names I want to be buying just yet. I will keep an eye on them if they do start to like maybe gap and break out. Would be super interesting, or just are strong in the morning would be interesting. But Amazon, I'll go through the mags here. Amazon, this action post earnings is still fine, right? You've kind of had a few bearish engulfings, but I mean, you made such a big move up. You need the consolidation. I haven't taken a trade on this one at all yet. I was watching that support gap, but it just wasn't able to really push away from that. Even if I did take it on that Wednesday of last week or even Tuesday yesterday, like it just never actually took off from that spot yesterday. Like it started to, and then in the close, it's kind of fading off. So just for me, it's not there yet, and it closed at the lows. While you have something like a Dell closing at the highs, right? There's strength in different areas right now, but either way, if Dell rests for a day or two, whatever, even though that's not even something I'm really caring that much about. Either way, into the earnings open here is where I'll be watching for that undercut and rally reversal spot, right? That's going to be your support gap area. Earnings candle low could be a spot too, but either way, Amazon will be interesting. Microsoft's another one where it's finally getting that rest. Let it digest, let it pull back. This thing got pretty extended. It's made an awesome run, and it has a chance to build a higher low. So continue to watch this for a higher low for sure. Microsoft still, to me, it's not on the list because I think it needs about maybe, I would say a day or two, but I'd probably say 2 or 3 days would be super interesting. Maybe it'll be on the list tomorrow. Who knows? But you got a big support gap. You got the prior pivot from June 1st. Big spot right there. Even the 10-day could be a spot for a higher low, but something to definitely keep an eye on there. Google, on the other hand, pretty much a POS. Not really my favorite. It's below the 50. It had the bearish engulfing, and it's gotten hit pretty hard since. So not anything I'm paying too much attention to. And then Nvidia's on the list. It's building a nice flag. Let it continue. It's building a range, right? Flag, whatever you want to call it. Let it keep going sideways. Let it build out this range, and it could look really, really good here if the semis can wake up as well. I think it would be nice for Nvidia to, continue building the range and then move out the range. Would be interesting to say the least. I'll go over my AVGO, right? Semis, talked about this one. I will watch if it puts in an inside day tomorrow, making this a higher low. Could be a higher low setup right on the top of this pivot from, your prior high in December of 2025. Right, we also found resistance there June 22nd. So it's a pretty big level, and we're just sitting right on top of it. So give us maybe like a washout in the morning or something right back into the level, or just an inside day overall, maybe a 627 as it starts to turn back up, and then you got an inside day on the daily chart. That could be interesting. But either way, if it puts in an inside day tomorrow, I'll just watch for a push above that high as a spot. But either way, just let it keep consolidating here. It's building a flag. It looks pretty good. CHYM, now you're getting into your software stuff. This is kind of what I mean by the premature setups, right? Let them keep going sideways. A day or two of inside, after a big gap up. It can be nice, but at the same time, I'd rather just let this consolidate a little bit more, get a little bit better. But Palantir, same thing, right? Let it continue building out. It'll offer a setup if it's really going to continue to go higher. Dash doesn't look too bad. It's building a flag. I thought this was software, but it's not considered software. But either way, I still maybe consider it software. Not a bad setup there either. Corsair, right? Your recent power earnings gap kind of out that little weekly base, right? And you're just inside day, super tight right under it. Maybe that's a spot through the pivot or above today's highs, a breakout retest setup. That doesn't look too bad to me. And then RNG is another one where it's like just let it keep going sideways, let it build out a real flag, right? 3-day flag. I mean, it doesn't look too bad. It's not. It's almost 9 ATRs from the 50, so it's extended. It's made a big run. I'd like to see more consolidation, build an actual range here, and I would definitely be more interested. And Snow is another one where it's like it's well past its buy area, so it's a big leader. Let it maybe build a higher low somewhere out the 10 or the 20. Let it just continue to build a range. Then it'll be on the list for something I'd want to buy. But CHYM doesn't look too bad. Inside day to day, not bad. I will just keep an eye on it. I don't think it's viable tomorrow. Dell. Inside day tomorrow would be interesting. Maybe a pull right back to the top of the base as like a spot, as like a little bit of a washout tomorrow would be interesting. But I could have sold it here. I didn't sell any of it. I just want to be as patient as I can with this name. My stop is going to be moved to today's low. I do not want to see a failed breakout. That would not be my favorite. You kind of already had your peak out of the base and then a squat. So, and then, this is a pretty big breakout candle. I see a lot of people possibly comparing this to Intel. as it's, breakout squat, and then it tries to go breakout, and then it gets hammered. If we get hammered like this, like I said, my stop is at today's lows. So if we see some day like this on a big gap down, I'll obviously be out of it immediately. But we'll see. I'm prepared for the worst case scenario, but I'd like to say this thing is out of its base and it can get going. It's got HP on its back too, which is doing absolutely phenomenal. This thing looks like it could go to a new high. Looks pretty good. So Dell, I'll just watch it for tomorrow, but I'm just gonna be patient with what I got. It just made another gap up today, which is super interesting. FTNT still building a nice range. I'm going to continue to keep an eye on this one. I don't know if it's going to be viable tomorrow, but you have a double inside day. We'll see what it can do. It's still in the range. Let it keep building out the range, and it should offer a nice higher low spot. GH, another one in the range, right? And same thing with Eli Lilly, right? These names are building nice ranges, which is super interesting to me. Could offer a higher low setup for sure on like a GH, but I'll just keep watching them, how the action trades in the range, and then coming out of the range would be super interesting. Nonetheless, BFLY is another one in this group, acting awesome. It broke out of its little range. It's still kind of under the highs. Double inside day looks pretty good to me, right? You look at your XLV if you want to look at that. It looks great. Eli Lilly looks awesome through the prior day high. I'd watch as just a flat base breakout. GH looks good too. Above the prior day high is what I'll watch, but Eli Lilly, nice flat base breakout there. ARCG, right? Genomics still looks fine. I wouldn't be buying it up here, I don't think, but I mean, same thing with TXG, right? It's kind of a little bit past its buy point. Twist, right? Double inside day. Looks like it's building a 2-day flag. Doesn't look too bad. Definitely a name I want to keep an eye on. NBIS talked about. Give us a few days and maybe we get a higher low going. Vidya, let it keep building the range. It looks pretty good. Okta is in that cybersecurity group. Cyber, double inside day looks pretty nice. CrowdStrike looks double inside day looks pretty nice too. PanW, look, it's consolidating a nice way. RBRK, another one, double inside day. This name looks awesome. I just don't know how to get involved all the way up here with just 2 inside days. Maybe let it pull in a little bit more and I'll look for a higher low for sure. But nonetheless, these are names to keep a close eye on. S, same thing. FTNT is on the list. Let it keep building the range. It'll look really good. Okta, it's building a nice range. I don't want to give up on it. Maybe a push into the support cap or the 20-day as a spot for a higher low could be on watch. But nonetheless, it's building a perfect or a really nice range, really nice base. So I want to continue keeping an eye on it. OUST above the prior day high. QLYS, this is another one where it's like CHYM. It's in that software group. It's kind of a premature flag, but you had your earnings gap up. You built a higher low. Looks like you're trying to build another higher low with an inside day-to-day. Could be a higher low setup. Doesn't look too bad to me. But just let it go sideways a little bit longer. But I wouldn't mind taking this above the prior day high. I probably won't. This is not really a name that I want to be buying tomorrow, but it looks pretty interesting. It's in a great group and it's been acting awesome. And then the TQQQ, I talked about how your QQQ is building a nice flag. To me, it looks like volatility is still contracting. Maybe another day or two of pull, give us another higher low area, and then I'll be looking to take that TQQQ. Looks pretty good, but that's going to be it for me. I appreciate you all for watching. There's some other names that are super interesting. Shop looks awesome. FCX is still with an inside day-to-day. It's building a pretty nice base here. Microsoft, like I talked about, continue to watch this one. Airbnb on a big earnings gap up, continue to keep an eye on this. NVT back at the top of the base today. It's above the 50. It's acting great. It's just not in the best group. TER, same thing, back above the 50. It's acting awesome. CRDO, another one, back above the 50-day from like a day or two ago, and it's just had a super nice day today. So let these things consolidate for a few days to offer a nice flag or something. It would be super interesting. But the stuff that's flagging right now is the stuff I want to pay attention to the most, right? I'd like to consider picking up some more names. The setups are there. They're showing up with tight risks, right? The QQQ hasn't broke the range. But it's already an interesting market, right? That feels very risk on for now. I'd like to see the semiconductors wake up for sure. But as always, I'm going to be staying patient, focusing on the best looking charts as always. And I don't want to hesitate, especially if this is a nice environment change. It feels like a risk on environment, and we're seeing setups and stuff's working. Any day now, we can just continue to get follow through from the NASDAQ. But besides that, I appreciate you all for watching. Peace.